Part 1. Lunch hour was supposed to be a break from the stress of the school day, but for Emily, it had always been something to dread. Emily, 15, had been in a wheelchair since a car accident 2 years ago. She was quiet, artistic, and mostly kept to herself. And that made her a target. Today, the bullying crossed a line. As she wheeled into the cafeteria, tray balanced on her lap, Tyler and his crew, the usual troublemakers, locked eyes with her. It started with the snide comments. Then one of them tripped her wheel as she passed. Her tray crashed to the floor. Food splattered across her lap. But the worst was yet to come. Before she could retreat, they surrounded her like vultures. Tyler smirked. "Let's see how far you can go without this thing." With a sudden yank, he pulled a pin from her wheelchair. Another kicked a wheel off balance. In seconds, the chair was in pieces. Emily fell hard onto the tile floor, gasping in pain and humiliation as the whole cafeteria went silent, no one stepping in, no one helping. Laughter rang through the room. Someone even filmed it. Emily lay there, blinking back tears, when the cafeteria doors swung open violently. Everyone turned. And standing in full military uniform, a duffel slung over his shoulder, was her older brother, Jason. Part 2. Jason hadn't expected a parade when he came to surprise Emily during his short leave. But he certainly hadn't expected to walk in on his little sister, sprawled on the floor, her destroyed wheelchair in pieces beside her, and a ring of kids laughing. His jaw clenched. He dropped the duffel and stormed forward. "Emily?" he said, kneeling beside her. His voice was soft, but there was fire in his eyes. "I'm okay," she whispered, embarrassed, trying to sit up. He helped her gently, then turned to the crowd. "Who did this?" No one answered. The laughter had died. Tyler and his crew looked pale now. "I said," Jason's voice thundered. "Who did this?" A nervous freshman pointed toward Tyler. "It was them," he muttered. Jason stood tall, his presence suddenly filling the room. "You think you're strong because you pick on someone who can't fight back." He took a step closer to Tyler, who instinctively backed up into a table. "I've seen real strength," Jason growled. "In battlefields, in hospitals, and it looks nothing like cowardice." Tyler tried to laugh it off. It was just a joke. Jason's eyes narrowed. "Then I guess you'll love the joke I'm about to pull." He whipped out his phone, showing the principal's number already dialed. "You've got 5 seconds to apologize and help fix that wheelchair, or I press send, and I promise your parents, the school board, and the internet will see exactly what you did." The bullies scrambled. Minutes later, Tyler and his friends were on their knees, trying to put the wheelchair back together under Jason's sharp watch, while Emily sat beside her brother, safe, seen, and stronger than ever. And this time, the whole cafeteria watched in silence, but with respect. Part 3. The wheelchair wasn't going to be fixed with just bolts and apologies. Tyler and his friends scrambled around the scattered parts, fumbling with wheels and screws, their hands shaking more from Jason's glare than the task itself. Jason stood over them like a stone wall, arms crossed, his camouflage uniform stark against the pale cafeteria walls. Every movement he made was deliberate calm, but pulsing with the kind of restrained fury only a soldier could master. Emily watched from the side, sitting on a borrowed chair with a blanket draped over her knees. Her hands trembled slightly, not from the fall, but from years of swallowed pain. Her brother was home, and for the first time, someone was standing up for her in a way that didn't involve whispered apologies or staff meetings after the fact. This was justice in motion. "I said the left wheel goes there." Jason barked at one of the boys, who fumbled and dropped the bolt again. "It's not rocket science. You were bold enough to break it. Be bold enough to fix it right." Some of the other students had begun filming, but not for mockery this time. Word was spreading. A few kids even moved to Emily's side and offered tissues, snacks, or just quiet support. It was strange the way cruelty could flip so quickly when the right force entered the room. Principal Garver finally arrived, sweat beading on his forehead as he pushed through the cafeteria doors. He stopped short when he saw the scene Jason looming over the trembling bullies, Emily quietly clutching her blanket, and a growing circle of students watching in dead silence. "Sergeant Winters?" the principal asked cautiously. Jason turned, his expression unreadable. "You must be the man who runs this circus." Garver blinked. I wasn't informed you'd be visiting today. I didn't need permission to check on my sister, just happened to walk in at the right time." Jason's voice was sharp. "And what I saw, a disabled student assaulted in front of an entire cafeteria, tells me you've got a serious problem." The principal's gaze darted nervously from Jason to the students. "We take bullying very seriously here." "No, you don't," Jason interrupted. "If you did, this wouldn't be the 5th time Emily's come home with bruises and tears. If you did, these boys wouldn't be kneeling on the floor like children who just got caught." Garver's mouth opened, then closed. He turned to Emily, who avoided his eyes. "I'll handle disciplinary action immediately," the principal said, shifting his tone to one of authority. "Boys, to my office. Now." "No," Jason said firmly. "They're going to finish fixing that chair. Every bolt, every wheel, every part. And then they'll apologize, not just to Emily, but to everyone here who's ever been made to feel small by people like them." Tyler looked up, desperate. "I said I was sorry." Jason stepped closer, leaning down. "You say sorry when it matters, not when you're caught." Silence stretched again. Then, finally, the boys finished screwing the final wheel back on. Jason gave it a firm shake, inspecting every angle. Satisfied, he nodded and stepped back. "Emily," he said gently, "you want to try it?" Emily hesitated. Her body still ached from the fall. But slowly, she nodded. Jason helped her into the seat. She took the wheels in her hands, and after a shaky moment, began to move straight, then turning, then back again. It worked. "Good," Jason said. Then he turned to Tyler. "Now, the apology." Tyler swallowed. His usual bravado was gone. "I'm sorry," he muttered. Jason arched an eyebrow. Louder. "I'm sorry, Emily," Tyler repeated, this time clearer. "For what we did, it was wrong." The other boys echoed, one by one, looking at their shoes. Emily said nothing at first. Then she looked up, eyes steady. "I forgive you," she said, "but I won't forget." There was something so powerful in that, so calm, yet so sharp, that even Jason nodded with pride. Principal Garver cleared his throat. "I think we need to move this to a formal setting. Detentions, suspensions, perhaps even charges." Jason raised a hand. "I'm not here to run your school. That's your job. But know this, if you ever let something like this happen again, I will come back. And next time, I won't be so calm." Garver nodded quickly. "Understood." The lunchroom slowly returned to its usual buzz, but something had changed. Emily rolled beside Jason, who picked up his duffel with one arm and slung it over his shoulder. "You okay, kid?" he asked. She nodded. "I am now." They walked through the halls together. Students moved aside. Some offered smiles. Others mumbled apologies. A few even whispered, "That's her brother," like he was a legend already. When they reached the front entrance, Jason stopped. "I came to surprise you," he said with a small smile. "Didn't expect to play hero," Emily chuckled softly. "You've always been my hero." Jason's eyes softened. He looked at her with a mix of pride and heartbreak. "You shouldn't have to be so strong all the time, but you are." She glanced back toward the cafeteria. "I think maybe now things will change." "They will," he said. because you changed the moment you looked those bullies in the eye and didn't break. They stood there for a moment, the weight of the moment slowly fading into something lighter. A breeze passed through the open doors. A new school aide approached with a brand new wheelchair, already requested by the administration as an apology, along with a full investigation promised by the principal. But Emily turned it down. "I think I'll keep this one," she said, patting the repaired chair. "It's stronger than it looks." Jason smiled. "Just like its rider." As they rolled out into the afternoon sun, Emily's head was held higher than it had been in months. The whispers faded, the bruises would heal. But the courage? That was here to stay.